Hello all, in this video we are going to see amplitude modulation in Simulink, a practical implementation.
Open MATLAB simulation software. Once the MATLAB is open, then just go to the Simulink tab which is present in main menu at the top. When the Simulink window open, just save the current file with appropriate file name. Once the file is saved with appropriate file name, go to library browser option, click on library browser, and from library browser select Simulink, and in Simulink first select sources option. The sources option consists of various sources, out of which just select the sine wave as first block and constant as second block. Just include these two blocks by simply drag and drop mechanism into our file. Then as per requirement, just edit the visual properties by resizing it if you require. Then go to math operations. In math operations option, select the simple product block. So we have a different blocks in math operations which supports the mathematical operations. So simply select the product block. Again, as per the requirement, if necessary, resize it, and now connect the output of sine wave block as first input to product block and output of constant block as second input to product block. To edit the properties of individual block, simply double click on it. So the first sine wave we are going to use as a message signal. So set its frequency to 2 into pi into 1 and sampling time as 1 e raised to minus 4. Even we need to set the amplitude level of this modulating signal at the beginning to 0.8. So once all the properties are adjusted, just rename the block to get a proper its meaning as first sine wave as message signal, constant block as a modulation index. Now again go in math operation or directly right click on modulation block and just copy and paste the constant block, and this constant block we are going to use as it is for the operation. So rename this as a constant. Now go again to math operations, select sum block, place it into the file. Now connect the constant output as first input to sum block and product block output as second input to sum block. Include this sine wave block as carrier signal. Just copy and paste it and rename it with the carrier signal. Again copy paste the product block. Also you can visit the library browser and there also you can select the product block. Connect the output of carrier signal as one of the input to product block and output of sum block as one of the input to product block. Now modify the properties for carrier signal as 2 pi into 10 with sampling time 1 e raised to minus 4 and amplitude as a 5. Now go to library browser, search for oscilloscope, that is a scope, and connect the scope to see the message signal, carrier signal, and finally the modulated output. So we need to connect three different scopes. One scope is to message signal block, the second is to carrier signal block, and the third is to modulated signal block. Now once all the connections are done, go to the format option present at the top, click on auto arrange. Once we click on auto arrange, all the components are arranged properly. Then click on run button. The Simulink will start to simulate and run the design. And now to see the individual result, simply double click on the scope. So when we double click on first information signal, it will show us the graph of modulating signal. When we double click on carrier signal, it will show us the graph for carrier signal. And finally, when we double click on modulated signal, it will show us the graph of final modulated output, which is generated with carrier signal and modulating signal.